everyone.
Welcome back to the Let's Debrief podcast. My name is Ashley.
And I'm Jenna.
Jenna.
Thank you.
Thanks, Coley.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I saved a life update for you.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, so as the people know from the assumptions, we're just always going to go back to the assumptions.
It's always back to the assumptions. We're like, since you guys were so rude.
So people were talking just about like, how can you afford home renovations or whatever. I want to do more home renovations. Okay, so we pretty much have finished the bottom floor of the house. Not fully finished, but like we did something to every room to make it better.
Yeah.
The upstairs is still terrifying. And it's gotten to the point where, like, at first when we moved in, like, people would be like, oh, let me see the house. I would, like, show them a tour of it and be like, well, we're going to change this. Now we've lived here over a year, and it's still, the upstairs still looks how it does.
I don't think it's, I wouldn't describe it as terrifying. What do you think is terrifying about it? Oh.
The bathroom is so scary.
But bathroom renovations are terrifying. Mm-hmm. They seem like the biggest undertaking.
Yeah, so it's gotten to the point where I'm just like embarrassed of it. Like I'm just like, this is just bad. Another really big part of it is the carpet upstairs is so old. It's like yellow and really matted down. There's stains all over it. And I swear they had like a pet that like lived there or like peed on it. Like it just smells bad. And like we have a carpet scrubber that I've tried using on it, but the carpet is so matted down that it like can't like get into the carpet
to release anything.
So it almost just like puts like soap on it. Eesh. And I'm just like, okay, we have to replace the carpet. So here's my plan. I'm trying to nest for winter.
Oh yeah.
So going back to what you said last episode about your no spend September, I want to do something similar where we really like save. Fall is a really busy season for weddings, so we have more money coming in than usual.
Cash money.
And I want to really prioritize that money for finishing the upstairs. So here's the plan.
All right, give me the rundown.
New carpet. We put carpet downstairs. It was the best decision ever. People hate carpet. You shouldn't hate carpet. It is so comfy.
It is comfy.
It is so plush. It is so good for having kids. It is so fun. We have it in like our living room that we have our TV in, and we just like lay on the floor, watch a show, play with Monty. Like it's such a good vibe. It's so comfy. So we're gonna do the same carpet upstairs.
Does it go up the stairs right now?
It does. Yeah. Okay. So it's just
continue
the same one. We got it at like a discount carpet warehouse, which like if you're trying to do carpet in your house, do not go to Lowe's. It would have been like triple the cost.
That's insane.
I guess I can just shout them out if you're in the Pittsburgh area. Stouts. They have a Murraysville location and Irwin location. They are amazing. They did it.
They should give you a code.
So well. Literally. They're like,
mention my name at checkout.
It's like a bunch of old guys are like, what code are you talking about? So anyways,
who's drain a soul itch?
They're coming over to measure for new carpet, and then I'm getting a quote for drywall.
Whoa!
So currently,
because it's just wood.
Yes. So currently, all the walls and all the ceilings are wood.
You know, in like 10 years, someone's gonna be like, "Who would put drywall over this?"
I know it's very hard. Like I do appreciate the wood. And I'm leaving a lot of it.
Yeah.
But I think that I either, like the ceiling, I'm definitely going to leave wood. Either going to just drywall the walls and leave the ceiling wood, or do like a big wall in each room, drywall, to almost just like, so that the wood is more of an accent and it's not the whole thing.
Do you think you'll paint the drywall or will it just be white?
Just white, probably. And then the bathroom, obviously, is so scary, but it's...
What's the layout? Like, are you just gonna change the tile, or are you gonna change like any plumbing? Like,
oh, no changing of the plumbing, and there's no tile in it. It is yellow rotting linoleum floor with a gross brown pattern, all wooden walls and wooden ceiling, and a dark brown shower with a reflective mirror door on it that has like stains on it and doesn't fully close and sticks together with a little piece of blue tape.
Do you ever shower up there, or do you do the downstairs?
We both shower up there.
Oh, okay.
And then really old sink, no cabinet, and like super old light fixture. Like it's just so ugly and so dark. There's no window in it either, so that really doesn't help. And like, so when you guys say, how do you have all this, how are you doing these home renovations? I'm not
doing all of them at one time.
Yeah, like there's still a lot to do.
I remember when like Jenna wouldn't even send us the listing of the house because she was like, we plan on changing things, and it was with the other people's stuff in it,
and their stuff was bad.
Yeah, and if it was like, if you would have saw it empty, it would have been even a different story. But like when they moved in, so many people would come over and be like, so when are you going to change the carpet? So when are you going to replace this? And you're like, do you think that I'm made of money? But
I was like, I just spent all of my money on the house.
Yeah. I need to live in it now. Like I need to pay the mortgage, and then I can think about taking out the carpet.
Yes. So about a year and a half later, we are now starting to think about redoing the upstairs. I think if we replace the carpets and get the drywall up, it will really change things. In terms of the bathroom renovations, if it's drywall, that will really brighten it up. And then I think we're just going to replace the shower, the brown shower, with just like a kit shower, if that makes sense. Like you literally just like buy the whole thing and put it in. Oh. With just like a white one with like a glass door.
Oh, okay. So it would still be like just the standing shower. You wouldn't make it into a tub or anything.
No, there's no room for it. And then just like Tanner will probably tile the floor himself, and then maybe see about getting a new vanity. Definitely like, again, like trying to do everything as on a budget as possible. But so that's been really on my mind lately. Of course, like in the time that we are busiest with weddings, Tanner's coaching soccer, like it's so crazy. I'm like, so what do you think about the construction? The thing is that like our friends and parents could help us do it, but when it comes like our bedrooms, especially Monty's room, I'm like, I can't have this being under construction for weeks.
Oh yeah, no.
I just want to like find a company that will do it and just come in and get it done. Like, yeah, maybe
Monty can't be kicked out of her room for weeks at a time.
Yes. So anyways, that's my current life update.
Nice. I like that.
Got anything for me?
Got anything? I'm trying to think. So we're in like the second week of September now, but we are recording this still in August. And so I don't have an update on my No Spend September yet, but it kicks off tomorrow. From when we're recording.
Whatever you need today.
Yeah, literally. Cole's gonna be like, I need to go here, and here. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Still very I am still very in love with our Breville, and I want to have a coffee every single hour of every single day. Do you limit yourself?
Well, I was actually thinking on the way here. So I usually only have one a day, because if I have a second one, I start to get a headache. But lately, having one still is like even making me feel like nauseous. And I'm just like, ugh, I hate it. It like, especially if I don't eat anything, I get like super shaky and like lightheaded, and I'm just like, why can't I just have my simple coffee?
I know. I definitely need to get better about our girls at the Kind of Crunchy podcast posted like, make sure you're eating before you have your coffee. And I'm like, I know.
The coffee is the meal.
Yeah.
Here's the justification for me is that if I make it with raw milk, I'm like, there's my nutrients there.
There you go.
But my stomach,
oh, bless you,
does not approve.
Bless you.
Thank you.
I will say this. Last episode we talked about, Cole and I launched our kitchen Instagram. I've been really on my grind this week of like, which I feel like all of this is stuff that you probably already do too or have done before, is like, I've been on my grind of, would you say no? Nope. Of like the hiding good things for you in stuff that you're going to eat anyways. So for example, which I'll shout them out because I love them so much and I know them personally, but we get all of our chicken and eggs and now bone broth. They have bone broth now from Heel Farms. They're in Apollo, and they do like, you just place an order online and you can do Saturday pickup and just go buy.
Oh, that's so cute.
So cute. But they have beef now. We just haven't gotten it yet. we just have a lot in the freezer. Anyways, so I did rice, cooked it in their bone broth.
Yes.
And
special hack.
So I was like, oh, this is so great. And then this week I had like half of the bone broth left, and I wanted to do shredded chicken. So cooked the chicken in the bone broth. Tasted so good, shredded so perfectly. So then I was having chicken and rice, and so I was like, oh, I'm just having so much bone broth, so much good nutrients. And then a couple weeks ago, so I am like big on, we haven't done, maybe it's time to do like another health episode at some point. We can reevaluate where we're at. But I've been always big on like the powdered liver, where it's basically dried and like powdered from Perfect Supplements. And like I'll add it to smoothies or like whatever. You can even add it. I added it to something recently, like as a seasoning.
Yeah, there's actually a seasoning called Pluck that is like really delicious, and it's made of organ meats, and they say that's a good way to like introduce it to kids.
Yeah. And so I forgot what I put it on recently, but I like sprinkled it in something and I was like, oh, can't taste it. It might have honestly been the rice, but when we were at the co-op a couple weeks ago, I've never actually bought like actual liver, and I saw it like sitting there, and it was $2. And so
it's so cheap.
So I was like, I should just try this. And so grabbed it. It's been in the freezer for a while, and this week I knew we were going to make burgers. And so I was like, I'll just defrost it, see how I can like slice it up and incorporate it. Sliced some of it up. I still have some of it marinating, because I'm like, maybe if I marinate it and then eventually cook it, it won't taste that bad, and we'll just like incorporate it with other stuff. But put it in our ground beef and made burgers. Could not taste it at all. Yep. And honestly, like
did you like food process it?
I just sliced it as tiny as I could.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
that's really great.
I know. I was shocked. I was like, oh, like I was very hesitant. I was like, I'm gonna know, like I'm gonna take a bite and be like, this is good, this is so gross. But yeah, like had a patty and like didn't even like taste it. And honestly, like Cole took the meat down, and he was like, oh, it's like not as incorporated as I would have wanted it to. And I was like, I know, like, but like we'll see. And he ate both of his burgers I was like, did you taste it? He was like, no.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you sure that we put it in there? But like you just couldn't tell at all. And so
that's amazing.
I feel like, yeah, and I feel like those are not uncommon hacks, but it just made me feel really good, where I was like, oh, I genuinely can't tell. The chicken and rice has been a great lunch for me this week. It's tasted so good.
I've been loving making like a shredded chicken in a crock pot. It's just
it's so easy.
It's just so much better to eat it shredded than like when you kind of like slice it up. I don't know why. It just like, it seems more right.
No, I 100% agree. And it's so easy. Like like I said in the last episode, we've been at home a ton. And so like just really trying to eat at home. And I like threw it. It was on Monday night. We were going to have it with something, or I was like preparing it for like lunch the next day. And then like it was my friend's birthday, so she invited us to come over and hang out with them. And so we're like, okay, well, like we just left the chicken in the crock pot, came back home, and it was already done. And I was just like, this is so easy.
I love shredded chicken in the crock pot.
Yeah. Are you still on your rotisserie chicken?
I do still get them every once in a while, but like I literally have been doing the crock pot,
and that's what I said.
It's almost the same.
Yeah, I said to Cole that when I did it this week, I was like, I did the rotisserie chicken 1 or 2 times, and this is so much easier. I feel like it yields more and it's less work.
I will say I do like the flavor of the rotisserie, which I don't understand what the flavor is.
Yeah, like what the seasonings are on it.
Yeah, but I do like that flavor. But yeah, it's
nice.
Great just doing the crock pot.
What is Monty eating these days?
A lot of blueberries. Loves the blueberries.
Getting her antioxidants.
She likes eggs. She honestly, like, there's never really been anything that she won't eat. She'll eat pretty much anything. She likes queen. Meat. She likes beans. She likes everything.
She's a simple girl.
Fruit. Yeah.
Nice.
She's doing good. She really liked salmon too.
Ooh. Good for brain development.
Good for everything.
Good for everything.
I don't know. You know what? I'm going to read the review.
Yeah.
We haven't done this in a
We
while.
always forget to do that. I just like happened to look last night. I was like, what do we got going on?
Thank you to everyone who writes reviews. If you haven't, we would love if you would go and write one for us. It means a lot to us, and it really helps our podcast. So here is a review that we have recently gotten. This person says, one of the best. 5 stars.
5 stars, baby.
She says, let me just start by saying I had no idea how much I would enjoy listening to Ashley and Jenna just talk. To be completely honest, I was hesitant to listen when I heard they were starting a podcast because I kind of felt like I wouldn't be able to relate to them at all because I don't get to travel and my lifestyle is so different from theirs. But let me tell you, these girls have a way of making you feel right at home. I have been binge listening to every episode to get myself caught back up. My 6.5-hour drive back from Ocean City felt like it went so fast because they're so entertaining. So thank you, Jenna and Ashley, because I feel like we're friends now. Please give them a listen. You won't regret it.
Also, that is so incredibly sweet. Thank you to whoever wrote that. We have a very loyal Let's Debrief campaigner, and her name is Tyra.
We love you, Tyra.
We love Tyra. But she texted me the other day. She went home for the weekend. She's from Washington. And she was like, I told one of my friends about the podcast, and she sent me this screenshot. So Tyra sent it to me, and she said, Let's Debrief is so good. I think I listened through 6 episodes yesterday in full. That's a lot of time listening to the sound of our voice. So Tyra's friend is listening. Maybe you're listening to this 6 months from now, but we love you.
We love you. She's not going to be listening 6 months if she's going through 6 a day.
Okay, if she's at this rate, she'll be hearing this next week.
Yeah. So thank you to everyone who listens. We love you.
We love you. Well, at this point, will the picnic have passed?
It will have passed.
So I'm just speaking already knowing that it's going to be incredible and saying thanks to everyone that came out.
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, we'll talk about it next episode for sure, like a recap. But today we're doing a fun topic. We are talking about the nicest thing that anyone has ever done for you.
I'm so excited about this one.
It's a wholesome topic.
Very wholesome, coming off of last week where it was much more serious, maybe.
Yeah, it was definitely
Hopefully
serious.
It was still wholesome.
Yeah. And also a lot of times I feel like we do a lot of like funny or weird submissions. So this will be, like a fun thing. Do you have anything?
Oh gosh. Every single time I'm like, I should have prepared for this.
Mine that I shared before on the podcast is when that woman drove me home from the soccer game.
And I think I also shared then the nicest thing someone did for me was let me live with them.
Oh, yeah.
Why have we talked about this before? Just randomly?
No.
I'm like, we definitely haven't done this. But I was like, I guess like Heather, letting me live with her. And then now my parents letting me live in their house.
Do you have anything that a stranger has done? I mean, I guess they were strangers at the time, but like just like a random act of kindness. You're like, someone paid for my food in the Starbucks line. No,
like literally. I'm like, no, people are mean to me. I don't know. I can't think off the top of my head. Maybe this will be like the squishy elbows situation where I'll think about it down the road.
Okay. I will start. Okay, I'm not going to read
that one. Okay.
The first time I met my now best friend in real life, we met on Instagram originally. She threw me and my family the most sweet, intimate surprise baby shower in the park for my second born. After talking on Instagram, she knew I had been feeling down about a shower/sprinkle for my second and didn't feel like many friends or family wanted to celebrate. It was the most selfless thing anyone has ever done for me. I will never forget how we started our beautiful friendship.
That's so sweet.
That is so funny. So I've said before that we help at a youth group, and one of our youth group girls, like, she graduated this year. And she was like, yeah, and my best friend like surprised me for my graduation. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, where does she live? And it was like somewhere really far away. And she's like, yeah, we've never met before.
What?
Like, we were just Instagram friends, and then she flew in for my graduation. And I feel like that's like getting more common that people are Instagram friends.
That's so cute. Yeah, I mean, I feel like all of our podcast like friends are like that we've all started through the internet. And wow, I feel like people are so quick to be like, the internet is the worst. It's like it can bring out beautiful things. Like, we would have no way of advertising that this podcast exists without it, and knowing all of the beautiful people that listen.
All the beautiful debriefers.
Exactly. That's so sweet.
I feel like that is a common thing, like with people's second babies. that people like it's like a weird vibe of like, do you care? Do you want to do something?
Yeah, I feel like if it's I don't know, like your take on it. I feel like typically if it's going to be like a different gender, then it's like, well, yeah, I need, like, I've had a girl, now I need boy things. And so it's like I need a shower. But if it is like the same gender, it's like, okay, what's it gonna be? Will I get one? Will I not?
Yeah, and it's also like kind of a hard thing to like ask people to like help out, I guess.
Yeah.
If my thought is, personally, I feel like clothes is like the least of the things that you need. And for me, like, there's so many things that I learned that I needed from having my first that I'm like, I would like to have something, but I get that people are like, no, like, you get your one shower and you're good.
Yeah.
But like, I even think about like a double stroller or something.
Yeah, there are still practical things
You
that
need
you would
like
need.
a new car seat. Like, there's still stuff that you need, but it's like, do you think it's like, well, you got to get that yourself. You got to get a second. It depends how close in age your kids are too. Like, if you have if you have two under two, it's like you need two of everything. Now
You're
you
like,
need
please,
another high chair. Now you need literally double everything.
do you think two is the cutoff, like, of showers?
I don't know. Like, it depends how, like, I guess, like, generous your friends and family are. Like, I feel like if I didn't have a shower, you would still get me something.
Yeah.
Like, close people would still be like, hey, is there anything that you're like wanting or needing? But some people might not have that, so it's like, well, I'm gonna have to. I don't know if 2 is the cutoff. I've also never had a 2-year-old, so I don't know like what they necessarily need versus what you could give them from the first baby. I don't know.
Yeah. Very interesting, but that was very sweet.
Very sweet.
The family I nanny for gave me $10,000 to help for my wedding.
Wow.
That is insane. I tell every single, like, 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl I know, like, please just become a nanny. And I mean, speaking for myself, I had nothing but somewhat positive experiences. And you make great money for usually like a great time. Like, I was a nanny for one baby, and like once she got old enough, I would take her to story time, and then we'd go get coffee. Like,
how old was she when you stopped? Because you started at 3 months, right?
Yeah, I started when she was 3 months, and then they moved when she was maybe, I think she was born in January, so it would have made her like 18 months.
Okay, and you were with her that whole time? That was probably so fun.
Oh, it was so much fun.
I would get way too attached.
It was very sad. Like, well, yeah, when she left, I was like, okay. Like, but then, like, they came back, like, and we're like, hey, like, we're in town very briefly. Like, it was right before COVID. Like, if you guys want to stop and just, like, get coffee with us. And I was like, I'd love that. And she was running around the coffee place, and she'd run past me and say, hi, Ash. Hi, Ash. And I was like, oh.
Have you seen her since then?
No, they live on the other side of the state, and they have 2 more kids now.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was crazy. Like, I'm like sharing way too much detail, but she was a doctor, and now she's a stay-at-home mom.
Aw.
I know. 3 girls. I'm like, that's so sweet.
That's amazing.
But that is incredible. That is insane generosity. I'm so happy for you.
Yes. My 6th grade teacher overheard me telling my friends one day that someone stole my pack of gum. My favorite at the time was Strawberry Orbit. And the next day I came to school and there was a brand new pack of that same gum sitting on my desk with a handwritten note from my teacher telling me to keep this one safe. I still have that note to this day over 15 years later.
That's so sweet.
Teachers are
heroes.
Angels,
absolute
on Earth.
angels.
Like, the things that they do for their students. Wait, this is a cute story. When I was in 2nd grade, I was like really wanting to like be a writer and like make books. I don't know. And I would like always write like little books and like staple them together and like draw pictures for it and stuff. And my teacher like had it made into like a real book.
Like a hardback or like
I can't remember, but like, it was like more like
official.
Yes.
Oh,
and
that's
that
so
was so
sweet.
freaking cute. Like, I just love teachers. They're so pure.
They are so pure. And it's like, you didn't have to do that. You could have just showed up and collected your paycheck that day. But the fact that you were even listening and like you went above and beyond, that's
And you got
so
the gum.
amazing. You got the gum.
That's so cute.
Okay. I hope this one doesn't make me cry. A little sad, but a beautiful gesture. My mom passed away on my best friend's 16th birthday, and her sweet 16 was the day after. She was going to cancel her party to be with me 24/7. We went ahead with the party, and she gave me a huge tray of cookies to take home to use for the
I've never heard of that.
for after the funeral.
Yeah.
This was almost 6 years ago, and now she's married. I'm her maid of honor and also her wedding planner. Love you guys in the pod.
That's so cute.
The fact that I also there are two people in this world, but like the fact that she was so willing to put her own needs and like honestly this huge event that happens in your life, like you're like I turned 16 and have this huge party, that fact that she was so quick to be like, we're canceling it and we're gonna hang out and we're going to be together and like everything, like it's just so sweet and so incredible.
That is so cute. With her wedding, you should try to like remake that in a way, like for her, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
just do something.
If she remembers like the cookies, like giving her something like that, I don't know, that'd be cute.
Yeah,
I love like callbacks.
You should do her cookie table,
little memories like that. Oh my gosh, this one says, talk to me when I wanted to end my life to let me know I was worth it. I'm so glad they listened and I stayed.
Wow. We are also happy that you stayed.
Yeah, that is so intense and that is amazing.
That is also very kind.
I always think about whenever people like will say, I was listening to something recently where someone was saying like, yeah, I was like planning, it was a podcast about someone who was a porn star, and it was like they came out of the industry and everything, but they were saying that they changed their name because like
when they went in or when they came out?
When they went into the industry, and they only went by that name, and it was like they had like this new identity, and then they were just, you know, really deep into depression and everything, and he was like, it was a guy, and he was like, I went to the bank like the day I was going to end my life, and I wanted to deposit like this last paycheck because like then the money would be in the account for whoever he left it to. And I can't remember what his name was, but the banker was like, Michael, are you okay? Like said that to him and said his real name. And he was like, that was what made me like stop and change everything.
Wow.
And like those like little moments, it's just like you literally just never know.
You never know.
And so like this situation, like maybe you didn't even tell the person and they were just there for you. But like if you ever are feeling that way, obviously like I'm sure so many people in your life would be wanting to like talk you through that and just be there for you in that moment.
Wow. Okay. I thought getting engaged on vacation was nice. Then I got home from vacation with my fiance, and my 4 best friends in the world had traveled from near and far with very little notice to surprise me and celebrate this huge milestone with me. This is one of many moments I realized the meaning of true friendship. That is very true. Like I gave Cole a list of requirements like for our engagement, and we were going to be in California like a week after, and so everyone was like, oh well, he could do it there, and I was like, I just want to be like with our people though, like and I have family in California, but like I want to be with like our friends to celebrate too. And so it's like nice having that time, like maybe like when the two of you only know, like, and obviously in our situation you guys knew, but then to be able to like go celebrate with people afterwards, that's so nice.
So cute. I know who this person is. And
oh really?
Literally she has the best friends. Like they all travel everywhere for each other for like milestones and stuff. It's just, it means so much when people do stuff like that for you. Yeah,
absolutely. And like that, like, and even like my one friend lives in Hawaii and she was in our wedding, and like when I said, hey, like I know it's a lot. Like, I would love for you to be in our wedding. And she was like, okay, like, what's the date? And like,
I'll be there.
That is not a cheap plane ticket. And the fact that you were willing to get on a plane for me means so much.
Yeah, truly. Those are good friends. This person says, I had morning sickness really badly in my first trimester. A friend made me a small basket of pregnancy survival things, and one was an on-the-go car kit for when I would throw up. Everything you could think of, from ginger to disposable toothbrushes. It was a lifesaver and definitely helped me through that rough time.
Ugh.
That is a really smart thing that I have not thought of.
That's
like
a really good idea.
On the
People that
go.
like listen like to like random needs and stuff, like that is like always the best, where it was just like, oh, I said that like I was wanting to try this and you got it, or like you just thought out of the box when thinking of like how you can love me in this period of my life.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. The car idea is really good.
Because literally you're stranded.
Yeah, that's like one of the most inconvenient times to feel sick. Like if you're at your house, it's like, well, here's the toilet. I'm going to sit here for hours. But the car is... One time I got so sick when I was really in my endo journey, and I threw up in a Dunkin' cup in my car, and like I kept puking and having to dump it out the window while I was driving. I was in traffic, like standstill traffic. And not standstill, but like really inching. So I couldn't like get out of my car, and it was like in the tunnels, so I couldn't pull over.
Oh, no.
It was the same scenario where Cole threw up. Couldn't pull over, and so I kept puking in the Dunkin' cup and putting it out the window, and it was just like so horrible.
Oh, that's absolutely awful.
Disgusting.
I'm so interested to see like how, obviously like you weren't pregnant at the time, but like you never really threw up when you were pregnant, did you?
No, I only did one time when we were in New York on the subway.
In like you just like
No.
threw up in a trash can, like in underneath?
We like went into a restaurant, and then I threw up in the bathroom.
Oh, okay.
But like the subway was what made it happen.
Oh, okay. I'm very interested to see. Like, it's just so crazy how it's not even like a sure thing in like pregnancy of like, oh yeah, everyone gets sick in the first trimester.
That's the thing about pregnancy, is everyone's is different, and it's so like hard to know what to expect.
I know.
And then every pregnancy is different.
Yeah, who knows? You could be sick with the next one.
Well, they say, and this might be baseless, but they say that you get more sick with girls because there's more estrogen. So I'm like, okay, I've already done that.
So
Hopefully I'm good.
hopefully. All right. My best friend of over 20 years told me she had a gift for me, and when I opened it, I immediately knew it was a breast milk ring. What is that?
It's like a ring that they'll make, like, you know how you can make a ring out of like someone's ashes or like something.
Oh.
They put breast milk in it. It's like almost looks like a pearl.
Oh, very interesting. But I was also so confused. I had no idea she did it. Oh, she did it while I was at work and my mom was babysitting. My bestie came and got a few milliliters of my milk from my mom and made me a ring. How unique. That's crazy.
That is really sweet.
So thoughtful. I'm sorry I didn't do that for you.
It's okay. I don't have any breast milk to give because I use it all up. I have thought about that, like, with people who have passed, like, getting them jewelry made from someone's ashes. But then I'm like,
How do you access
how do
that?
you ask that?
Like, can I have just a few ashes?
Just a little sprinkle. And then what if they're like, no?
You're like, oh, okay,
You're like,
well.
okay, never mind. Because I feel like that would be so thoughtful.
It would literally have to be like an immediate family member, I feel like.
Well, yeah, I have a person in my life who lost their, like, brother, and they have the jars just there, and I'm like,
Just do a scoop
should
next
I
time.
just get a little scoop? Because I know it would mean a lot to them, but I'm just like, what if they think like, oh, you like violated me by like doing that? You know, it's like a hard line to
It
tell.
is such
the
an
breast
interesting-
milk is different, but like,
Yeah, but when it does have to do with death, you just never know how people are going to take it.
yeah. Anyways, very sweet. This person says, when my husband was pursuing me, I initially was not interested in him because I was sick of guys and didn't want a boyfriend. I was very stubborn and honestly didn't want to date anyone, but he was nice, so I said yes to a date. He then drove 4.5 hours to come see me on a Friday night,
Wow.
take me to dinner, then leave just to drive 4.5 hours back home. He did this 2 to 3 times. Each time I offered for him to sleep on my couch and he said no. I wasn't pushy about him staying because I still wasn't sure about seriously dating anyone, so he would go home each time.
Oh my gosh, so he's driving 9 hours round trip? Mm-hmm. Holy moly.
Years later, I find out he would leave and just go to the first rest stop on the highway and sleep in his truck overnight and then drive home the next day. Aw, still to this day, it has been the most caring and loving thing anyone has ever done for me.
She said husband, right?
Yeah. Okay. I said, ladies, there are good men out there.
If he wanted to, he would.
He just would.
And it's the fact that you weren't even showing that much interest and he was still willing to do that. He was playing the long game.
He really was. I also love that because most guys would be like, yeah, I'll stay over. We'll see what we can get into. He was very respectful.
Very respectful. Like, no. Yeah, not expecting. I mean, even if he did stay, it seemed like not expecting anything. But he was like, nope, I don't even want to put that kind of pressure on you. I'll see ya.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Wow, that is so sweet.
Yeah, after you read that, I was like, they did get married, right?
Please tell me they did.
Okay. One time when I was really depressed and living by myself, I let my dishes pile up. Some had even had mold growing on them, and it was really stressing me out. I had a friend, without me even asking, come over and wash all of my dishes. It was the sweetest thing and helped me so much with feeling better with my environment and myself. But also the lie depression The lie depression always tells is that you are alone. So the physical evidence of having someone was so powerful. That is such good, like that's such a practical thing sometimes, especially like when we've talked about before of like what to do for moms like in the moment and stuff, and it's like I don't know, kind of like putting, like we talked about in the last episode, but like putting your money where your mouth is, and like just being like, okay, what is something, instead of being like, oh, you're depressed, I'll pray for you, it's like, okay, how that is also helpful, but how can I also benefit you like tangibly.
Yeah. See, okay, going back to what I was just saying now, though, how do you know that it's okay to do that?
That's true.
Because sometimes I feel like it'd be a situation where the person would be like, thank you so much. And other times the person would be like, you came in my house and did my dishes. Like, everyone has, like, a different perspective on stuff like that.
How do you feel? Like, did anyone, like, when you at first had Monty? Because I feel like people, like, will post on Instagram now, like, don't come over and say, I'll hold the baby, like, so the mom can do X, Y, and Z. Like, did you have anybody say, I'm going to be over in 10 minutes to do your dishes or to make you a meal? And, like, what was your reaction?
Well, my mother-in-law is the cleanest, the best cleaner. The best cleaner. And so she would come over and she cleaned my house. So she cleaned my house while I was at the hospital.
Which is a huge gift.
Yes. And then, like, a few days after, she came over, brought me food, and cleaned up again. And she, like, is just the best. Like, the way she folds laundry, it's, like, all so precise. I just love it. So she did that a few times. My mom would come over and read up. She would always water my plants, bring food, whatever. But
do you have any friends do it, or was it always family?
I don't think friends ever really, like, cleaned anything, which is fine because it's, I don't know.
You're like, interesting, you didn't vacuum.
Cleaning someone's house, I do feel, is, like, a little bit intimate.
It is. It's such an interesting thing where it's like, yes, I guess practically you could fold my laundry, but I don't want you touching my husband's underwear.
Yes. And, like, even, like, when you guys came over, you brought food and, like, you cleaned up, obviously, the food. But it's like, I don't know if I would really want you to, like, do that.
Yeah.
But also, like, I couldn't do it. So it's like, I guess, but
you wouldn't have been angry if someone had done it.
No. It just is like a comfort level, I guess.
Yeah.
And I feel like our moms are like the only people that I guess I would feel comfortable with doing that.
That's fair.
It is just intimate. Like, even like when I was at the hospital, like, Carol took all the sheets off our bed and washed it and, like, remade our bed and stuff. And it's like, I don't really know if I would want that many people up in my room touching my stuff.
Yeah.
Seeing my little trinkets.
Seeing the little things I got lying around.
Truly, it's just like, I don't know. But so it's
I agree. And it's one of those things where you're like, wait, I know I don't have anything incriminating laying around, but also, do I? And, like, now that person's been in there, like, what do they know?
Yeah, even saying the underwear. It's
Yeah.
like, do I want you seeing my
That's
unders?
kind of underwear I wear.
Did I say unders?
Do I want you seeing
Do
my
I
unders?
want you to do I want you to take out the trash from my bathroom where I have disposable diapers that have blood on them?
Not the trash
Probably
can.
not.
Yeah.
But if my mom does it, sure.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
But-
I feel like I was going to ask something else. Now I can't remember. Ah, dang it. It was like something to do with that. But yeah, there is a time. Just know your limits.
Yeah, but I'm really glad that
This person reacted
this
that
person
way.
did that and that they liked it.
Also, like, when you're in a maybe like depressive state, like sometimes it isn't like, I don't know, maybe your emotions like are all over the place too. So the fact that you could also be like, this is a problem. I'm so thankful that someone came and met me where I'm at, didn't judge me or anything, but it would be very easy to be like, this is my space. Like, why did you do that?
Yes. Yeah. So it's a hard line, but I don't know. Would you want me to do that for you? I guess like dishes is kind of different. Like, say you just had a baby and you're like laying here on the couch with the baby, like,
Oh, I wouldn't care if
and
someone
I
did the
went
dishes.
and did the dishes right there. But would you want me going in your upstairs and going in the bathrooms and going in your room?
I don't know. I feel like I would go 50-50. Honestly, I feel like at that point, I probably wouldn't care. I'm like, I've just been ripped open. I don't care what anybody sees at this point. But yeah, like we've had, like, we threw our friend Joe a surprise party a couple months ago, and we let Shayla and Ellie come in and decorate our house because like we were gonna host, and I was like, yeah, let yourself in and everything. And while they were here, they did our dishes. It had nothing to do with the party, but Ellie is just super obsessed with washing dishes. And so when we came back, we were like, oh, like that's so sweet. And like, this is actually I think what I was going to say is sometimes like, and this is not in like that situation of like Shayla and Ellie, but sometimes I think maybe even when I was in high school or something, my parents would maybe like, oh, I flipped your laundry over, and I'm like, that shirt shouldn't go in the dryer though. That's the kind of stuff that I'm like, it's okay, you can just leave it.
Or maybe I shouldn't do it because what if I don't know that someone like that their shirt doesn't go
Exactly.
in or whatever.
Yeah. That's the only time where I've been like, oh, the gesture was so sweet, but now I have a pink shirt.
Yeah. Wait, this is along the lines of the nicest thing anyone did for me, which it has to do with Joe.
Oh.
So Joe is notorious for having car problems. How many cars has he had?
I think in his adulthood, he's had like 5. He just got a new one, a couple. And the time I've known him, he's had 3.
Okay.
Yeah, 3.
So there was one point when I don't know what was happening. Something was wrong with his car. He was in between cars or something. And he was like, hey, do you guys mind if I borrow your car for a few days? Or he said he needed to borrow one, and we said take ours, or whatever it might have been. Anyways, he borrowed our car, and
I have another one after.
oh, okay. When he gave it back, he had it detailed.
That's so I think also it was like him and his brother.
Yeah,
just
they
going,
have like all the attachments and stuff.
Yeah.
And like our car was messy. Like that was in our time of just like, we were probably like 22 and just like whatever, like we would just throw clothes in the back seat, like always had like an empty Gatorade bottle, like,
messy era.
yes, that was our messy car era. And yeah, he had it detailed, and I was like, what? Like
This
he
is
just
so kind.
dropped it off at our house and was like, okay, I got my car back. And then like when we went to use it, it was so clean. I was like,
The fact, also it ties into like when people do something nice, it's like not waiting around for like the compliments and be like, so it's like just like
you like it?
even like the meal train of like just drop the food off and be like, all right, like you do your thing, and like not expecting anything in return. The fact that he wasn't like, hey guys, come outside,
look what I did, and react to it while I'm standing here.
yeah.
There's
I
a
am like a
difference.
huge gifts person, and so I do love seeing people react, but also knowing that there is a time and place for it. Like it was one of my best friend's birthday this past week, and I just like, we got in the car to go to lunch together, and I put her present in the back seat. I was like, for you to open later.
Like I restrained myself.
Yeah, literally. But on like, I feel like it's so funny that it's both having to do with Joe, but I it was when we lived in the same neighborhood, and it was our little community at the time. I didn't realize that our house didn't have central AC, and so as it got like hot, I was like, oh my gosh, there's no AC in this house. So I was like on Facebook Marketplace, like looking for like AC units and anything like me and my roommate could like scrounge together. Joe doesn't say anything, just shows up at my house one day, and he's like, I got you 2 AC units. And I was like, did you buy them? And he was like, no, like someone was just posted it on like what was that neighborhood app like called? I forget what it's called.
Nextdoor.
Yeah. He's like, I just posted on Nextdoor if anyone had any AC units, and 2 people were like, yeah, I do. And he just showed up and installed them. And I was like, thank you so much. Like,
is truly just... Is Joe the best person ever?
Shayla, are you the luckiest woman in the world?
Okay, so my love language is acts of service. By far.
Yeah.
And those type of things, I'm like... I love you. Like when people do that type of thing.
You are the kindest person I've ever met.
The kindest person ever.
Yeah.
I love when people make my life easier.
Yes.
That is
And again, with no strings attached, of like not expecting anything in return. And it's like, obviously I want to return the favor, but thank you for not expecting anything.
Absolutely. And it's like, and they're not expecting you to return the favor immediately. It's like, when you need something, I'll be there for you too. That's the most beautiful type of friendship.
Absolutely.
Okay. Did I read the last one?
No, I did the dishes one.
Oh, okay. We took a few big financial hits on an already unimpressive savings account. But we have a membership to the trampoline park near us and went just like a normal day. Turns out the account was messed up and we weren't actually paying for everyone in our family. The lady who manages the park caught on to my panic, and I said I'd just sit it out and watch so my husband and kids could jump and have fun. Instead, she just postponed the payment date to a week later when I knew we'd have the funds, and I've never been more grateful at a time I felt so low.
Just the little things. Also, I didn't realize that she was a mom or like had kids, and I was like, do you and your husband just get the trampoline
She's
park?
like, I need my membership.
That's awesome.
That is so sweet.
Yeah, and like again, when people can just be like, a couple weeks ago when I talked about the guy at Whole Foods was just like so intense, and I was like, and not everything has to be that serious all the time. And like the trampoline park lady noticing like, it's fine, we'll just move it.
Yeah,
like,
don't worry
you're
about
like,
it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, I love this question. The nicest thing someone ever did to me was give my husband and I our first home completely rent-free and 0 contract. We are allowed to live here as long as we desire, and it's the biggest blessing I've ever had in my life. We love it and are happy to maintain it well and create a beautiful space because we feel so incredibly blessed by this opportunity. That's so, I mean, I can heavily relate.
Was this you?
Yeah, no, it wasn't me.
Literally, I'm like, you wrote this in.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously I can relate to that, and it is like, I don't know if you said, I mean, I don't know how long you guys have been married, but to give you your first home, so I'm assuming maybe you were recently married, like and obviously you've been like married, like, and remember like the early years and stuff, like there's just nothing better. And like, especially when you get married younger and you're like, I do not have a savings like whatsoever. Like this year, because we're coming up on a year of marriage, like only in a few weeks by the time this comes out. And it's just been like the greatest blessing to just not have to worry about it and just be like, and I'm also very proud of us because it could be very easy to just be like, all right, like let's let loose. We can get whatever we want. But we've both been really good about like being on our savings and everything. And more recently, our whole theme is just like setting us up for starting a family, both in health and finances and social life and everything. And so heavily relate.
That is very smart of you guys. You're doing so good.
Thank you.
Did I read that one? I cannot remember. Did you read that?
I read that one.
Okay.
This is our last one.
Okay, last one. One time I was stressed out of my mind about finances in college. I barely had enough to cover that semester's payment and ate like a squirrel.
I've never heard that.
My phone was busted and holding on by a thread. It died once while I was driving, and I had no charger, so I got lost. Pulled over to a Wendy's and asked to borrow the employee's charger. I told this story to my friend, and she secretly contacted all my closest friends. They pulled their money together and bought me a brand new iPhone. I think I cried for days straight. God provides.
That's so sweet. Oh, I love good friends. Like, do you always
amazing.
sometimes this is like not to be like I'm such a good friend, but like sometimes Cole will have to rein me in of like I'm an extremely generous person. Do you feel like, and there have ever been any instances where you're like, this is too much? Because I feel like that would be easy, like to ask like your friends, like we should get her a new iPhone, and everyone would be like, that's a lot of freaking money.
I don't know. I feel like I have a hard time because like I kind of like sometimes feel like I'm like I would be too much. So like even if I have an idea for something, like I'm like I shouldn't do that because it's like gonna be too much. Like I have a friend that is a mom that doesn't get a lot of sleep, and I was like, oh, I really would love to like get people together and try to get her like an espresso machine, like a Breville. But then I'm like, if I message people and ask that, they're gonna think I'm so stupid.
Yeah.
But like clearly not.
Yeah. And I think like I also like struggle with that, and I'm like, we as a society need to get past that. And again, it's like also giving it to someone, being like, I expect nothing in return. I know that this is like a big thing, but I just wanted to give it to you. Like, please. I think that's also what freaks me out, is like them feeling the pressure to, now I've given you something of, like if we were pulling our money together, like a $500 value, please do not feel like you ever need to like do the same.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I feel like I will say, as more of my friends have kids, I feel like it is so like much easier, I guess, to be generous like for their kids, if that makes sense. Then like sometimes it's hard to think of like gifts or things you can do for your friends, but once they have kids, it's like so easy to be like, oh, I got them a matching outfit, like our two kids, like we're getting them a little matching outfit, or like, oh, I saw this book and I sent it to you guys, or like let me, like you guys do this a lot, is like watch kids so that people can go and have a date night. Yeah. And it's like,
that's a gift to me.
That's like, yeah, such like an amazing thing you can do if you don't have kids and your friend does have kids, like to offer to like watch them so they can go do something like. And
it's the best because you get practice, and then when you're over it, it's time to give them back.
Absolutely. That's like what people always say about being grandparents.
Yeah. They're like, it's the best, they're not my responsibility anymore.
Yep. But wow,
sweet little episode, wholesome little episode.
Very sweet. I feel like this restored my want to do things for people.
Yeah, you're like my generosity.
Do you want $500?
I will accept your $500 if you insist. Your payment for your carpet.
Wait, I was gonna say, just like as a joke, I did bring you the chai, but I need to tell the story about the chai.
Yes, this is crazy.
So we both love this brand of chai, and but I haven't drank chai in so long since we got our espresso machine. But since fall's coming, I was like, oh, I want to get.
Are you gonna do dirty chais, or are you just gonna do? Okay,
I've been doing them already.
Are they delicious?
So good, yes. I was like, oh, I want to get some chai, but I was like, kind of like, I don't know how it's gonna taste with the espresso. So I only ordered like 2 little, like they come in like, what is it, like a quart? What did you say?
Yeah. Oh wait, a pint maybe?
Yeah, it comes
Something
in like a
that.
box.
Yeah.
A box that's like a pint or whatever.
Carton.
So I ordered 2 of them, 2 little pints of them. And I was like, okay, we'll just try it out like with the espresso in it and see if like we love it. And we'll order more if we do. If not, like I didn't invest in like so much. So I ordered 2 of them, and then like 2 days later, 2 cases of them, 2 cases of 12.
Which also, yeah, you can purchase them in cases, and it's like a 1 quart thing is like $20. No,
$10 for one,
or 10 for 100.
12
for
100. So it is
like you save money.
Yes. So 2 cases show up at my house, and of course immediately I'm like, did I spend $200 on this chai? Like, am I an
$10
idiot?
versus 200.
Well, I thought I ordered 2, so I was like, oh, I spent 20. But then 2 cases showed up, and I was like, I can't believe I did this. I'm such an idiot. Like, I must have ordered 2 cases. And I go on, and I only spent $20.
So they
must have either made a mistake, or they saw me commenting on their Instagram on their giveaway 500 times saying, I need this chai, I need this chai, I need this chai.
And they're like, just give it to her.
Like,
I mean, that could be a possibility. I wouldn't like overlook it. You're like, what is it? How many followers do they have? I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's naive of me, but I'm like, they're our little brand.
They're like, I'm the only one who knows about them. I kind of agree with that. Let's see. They have, only 1,600 followers.
Are you kidding me? Oh, Jenna, they could have noticed.
But I just don't think they did.
Anyways, all that to say, she blessed me with the same chai.
Yes,
she brought me a couple.
I'm gonna bring my sister some too.
Or not a case, but she brought me a couple quarts of it, and Cole is very excited.
Yes, and the chai is Say One Chai if you guys are interested.
In the blue, we get the blue one.
Yes, and we now
is
have
that like the original?
25 blue ones. Yeah, it's just called Authentic Chai. There's also like oolong, spicy, grizzly. I don't know what the grizzly is. And golden. That one has like turmeric in it.
Ooh, I'd be interested in trying that one. Have you making them hot?
Yes. This person. Oh, the grizzly is half spiced, extra bold.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I should get a variety taste.
I've been making them hot. I really like.
I haven't steamed our milk recently. At all yet.
I love it when it's steamed and frothy, and then I put a little bit of cinnamon on top.
It's hopefully, well, I don't know, because I love summer, but I'm like, by the time this comes out, it could be like midst of fall.
Fall vibes are coming up.
Mm-hmm. And we're preparing, but we're sending off summer with our picnic.
This week is going to be super hot.
I know.
Like
Church at the Point is on Sunday. It's going to be so hot.
I'm going to my friend's in-laws' home tomorrow in Punxsutawney, and they have a big pool, and a bunch of kids are coming, and we're gonna have a great time.
Oh, that's fun. Just during the day?
Yep.
Nice.
And we're gonna grill.
That sounds wonderful.
Yeah. So anyways,
we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and this is your encouragement to go do something nice for somebody. Okay?
Yes.
We love you guys.
Don't overstep your boundaries.
Yeah, but know your limits. Okay.
Don't go in their bedroom, please.
Please don't touch their laundry. Don't touch their unders. We love you guys so much, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Their unders.
Not the unders.